Hollywood and the music world collided in the late 1980s in a way that still sparks fascination today. At the center of it all were Kim Basinger, the striking actress who captivated audiences on the big screen, and Prince, the enigmatic musical genius whose influence seemed limitless. Rumors about their connection swirled for years, leaving fans wondering what really happened behind the scenes of their unlikely romance. Was it just a fleeting Hollywood fling, or infidelity happened? Decades later, Basinger finally opened up, revealing the truth about her time with Prince, and these revelations shocked the industry, and it might even change your perception too. Kim Basinger's dynamic career. Camilla Ann Basinger, born on December 8, 1953 in Athens, Georgia, is a name that would go on to become synonymous with Hollywood glamour, talent, and resilience. Her life and career reflect the arc of a woman who not only captured the public's imagination with her beauty, but also earned respect for her craft through perseverance and versatility. From her earliest days in Georgia to walking away with an Academy Award, Kim Basinger's story is one of ambition, reinvention, and staying power in an industry that is constantly shifting. Growing up in Athens, Georgia, Basinger's natural beauty and graceful presence were evident from an early age. By the late 1960s, while still a teenager, she began competing in beauty contests. These pageants gave her experience in front of audiences and judges, teaching her how to present herself with confidence and poise. It was during these years that modeling scouts began to notice her, and her transition into modeling seemed almost inevitable. What started as small competitions in Georgia eventually propelled her into the professional modeling world, setting the stage for the first phase of her career. Her modeling work lasted about 4 years and allowed her to gain national exposure. Yet, even as she appeared on magazine covers and in advertising campaigns, Basinger felt a pull towards something more fulfilling. By 1976, she made the daring decision to leave modeling behind and head west to California in pursuit of acting. This was a risk, as many models who attempted to break into acting found themselves typecast or overlooked. For Basinger, however, it was a chance to prove she was more than just a striking face. Her earliest acting roles came in the form of guest appearances on popular television shows. In the mid to late 1970s, she appeared in series such as Macmillan and Wife and Charlie's Angels. Though these roles were small, they were invaluable stepping stones. They gave her opportunities to learn the rhythms of acting for television and allowed her to gain experience under the watchful eye of Hollywood producers and casting directors. Every small role added to her resume and inched her closer to more substantial opportunities. In 1978, Basinger secured her first major leading role in the television movie Katie, Portrait of a Centerfold. In many ways, the role mirrored her own life, as she portrayed a young woman navigating the modeling industry while searching for identity and meaning. The performance allowed Basinger to channel her real-life experiences into her character, giving the film an authenticity that audiences and critics noticed. More importantly, it proved that she had the talent and presence to carry a production as the lead actress, which set her apart from many of her peers. The early 1980s saw Basinger continue to build momentum. Between 1979 and 1981, she appeared in the miniseries From Here to Eternity, which brought her further attention, and in films such as Hard Country in 1981 and Mother Lode in 1982. These roles demonstrated her range and seriousness as an actress. They also showed that she was not content to rely solely on her looks, but was willing to put in the work to develop her acting skills. By the early 1980s, it was clear that Basinger was determined to carve out a lasting career in Hollywood. Her true breakthrough came in 1983 with the James Bond film Never Say Never Again. Starring opposite Sean Connery, Basinger's role as Domino Patachi launched her into international stardom. The Bond franchise had long been known for casting glamorous and memorable actresses, and Basinger's performance fit perfectly within that tradition. The exposure she gained from the role was massive, introducing her to audiences worldwide and confirming her arrival as a major film star. This marked a turning point in her career and opened the door to some of her most iconic roles. The mid-1980s was a period of both critical and commercial success for Basinger. In 1984, she appeared in The Natural alongside Robert Redford, playing Memo Paris, a mysterious and alluring character who brought depth to the romantic sports drama. Her performance earned praise and proved she could hold her own opposite established stars. 2 years later, she starred in 9½ Weeks, 1986, a film that became one of the most talked-about releases of the decade. Known for its provocative subject matter and intense chemistry between Basinger and co-star Mickey Rourke, the film was controversial but undeniably memorable. That same year, she also appeared in No Mercy, once again showcasing her ability to take on diverse and challenging roles. These films cemented her reputation as a daring actress, unafraid of risk-taking. By 1989, Basinger achieved one of the highest points in her career when she starred as Vicky Vale in Tim Burton's Batman. The film was a global phenomenon, smashing box office records and solidifying itself as a cultural milestone. Playing opposite Michael Keaton's Batman and Jack Nicholson's Joker, Basinger's Vicky Vale became an iconic character in her own right. The role placed her at the center of one of Hollywood's biggest productions and further elevated her profile worldwide. Even today, fans of the film remember her performance as an integral part of its success. The early 1990s kept Basinger in the spotlight with several high-profile projects. In 1991, she starred in The Marrying Man, a romantic comedy that drew attention for its behind-the-scenes stories and her on-screen chemistry with co-star Alec Baldwin. A year later, she appeared in Final Analysis, 1992, a psychological thriller co-starring Richard Gere. These films reflected her ability to shift between genres and remain a bankable star. While not every project reached blockbuster status, Basinger maintained her reputation as a leading actress in Hollywood. In 1993, Basinger's personal life became intertwined with her professional one when she married Alec Baldwin. The marriage attracted significant media attention and made them one of Hollywood's most watched couples. Balancing her career and personal life during this time was not without its challenges, but Basinger continued to act, proving that she was committed to her craft regardless of the spotlight on her private world. The pinnacle of her career came in 1997 when she won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her role in LA Confidential. Playing Lynn Bracken, a glamorous call girl with hidden depth and vulnerability, Basinger delivered a performance that impressed critics and audiences alike. The film itself was hailed as a masterpiece, and Basinger's award marked her transformation from a star often known for her looks into a fully recognized and respected actress. Winning the Oscar was a career-defining moment, affirming her status as one of Hollywood's finest talents. In the 2000s and 2010s, Basinger remained active in the film industry, though she appeared less frequently in leading roles. She demonstrated her staying power with performances in notable films across different genres. In 8 Mile, 2002, she played Stephanie, the mother of Eminem's character, bringing raw emotion and authenticity to the story. She went on to star in Cellular, 2004, a fast-paced thriller, as well as The Nice Guys, 2016, a comedy crime film that paired her with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling. In 50 Shades Darker, 2017, she joined the cast of the popular franchise, showing her ability to remain relevant to new generations of audiences. While these later roles may not have carried the same groundbreaking weight as her earlier career, they underscored her longevity and adaptability in an industry that often moves quickly past its stars. Kim Basinger's biggest controversies. Kim Basinger's career is often remembered for its highlights: her rise from small-town Georgia to international fame, her starring roles in major Hollywood films, and her Academy Award win. Yet her journey was also marked by challenges and controversies that tested her resilience both personally and professionally. For every celebrated success, there were struggles that shaped her path in ways the public could not ignore. These issues not only affected her career trajectory, but also revealed the human side of an actress often portrayed as an untouchable star. One of the most significant controversies of her career came with the film Boxing Helena. Initially attached to the project, Basinger ultimately decided to withdraw. The decision, however, led to a legal battle that would become one of the most widely reported moments in her professional life. Sued by Mainline Pictures for breaching her agreement, she was ordered to pay millions in damages. The financial fallout from this lawsuit had a lasting impact, forcing her to navigate serious monetary difficulties at a time when she was still considered one of Hollywood's leading women. The case served as a cautionary tale about the contractual obligations actors face and the high stakes involved in decisions that may appear simple from the outside. The difficulties did not end in the courtroom. In her personal life, Basinger faced another period of intense public scrutiny during her divorce from actor Alec Baldwin. Married in 1993, their relationship had attracted considerable attention from the beginning. By the time it ended, the split had become highly publicized and contentious, particularly due to the custody battle over their daughter. The details of the divorce were closely followed by tabloids and entertainment outlets, leaving Basinger's private struggles on display for the world to analyze. The prolonged conflict took a toll not only on her reputation, but also on her emotional well-being. The custody disputes underscored the challenges celebrities face when personal lives become inseparably tied to their public images. Even as she worked to manage these personal and financial struggles, Basinger encountered another challenge common to many actresses in Hollywood: typecasting. From the beginning of her career, her striking beauty and sensual presence were emphasized in her roles. Early performances in films such as 9½ Weeks cemented her image as a sex symbol, a label that both elevated her status and limited her opportunities. For years, producers and directors often cast her in roles that highlighted her physical appeal more than her talent, narrowing the scope of characters she could portray. While her performances showed depth and nuance, the industry's focus on her appearance often overshadowed her abilities, making it harder for her to break free from the mold that Hollywood had created for her. This struggle with typecasting also connected to another issue in her career: the critical and commercial failures that dotted her filmography, particularly in the late 1990s and 2000s. During this period, several of her films were poorly received by critics and failed to perform at the box office. These disappointments contributed to a decline in her career momentum, as Hollywood's appetite for bankable stars is notoriously fickle. Basinger herself acknowledged in interviews that she had accepted roles in projects she later regretted. Her candid admission revealed a self-awareness that, while refreshing, also underscored the difficulty of navigating an industry where a few missteps can alter the course of a career. Perhaps most revealing of all, however, were the personal struggles Basinger faced with her health. Behind the glamorous facade and Hollywood acclaim, she battled severe anxiety and agoraphobia, conditions that profoundly influenced her life and work. At times, her struggles with anxiety were so overwhelming that they affected her ability to commit fully to projects or even to appear in public settings. The limitations imposed by agoraphobia reduced her visibility during periods when maintaining a public presence was crucial for sustaining momentum in Hollywood. These challenges not only created personal hardship, but also contributed to interruptions in her career, further complicating her ability to maintain consistency in an already volatile industry. Prince Nelson's unforgettable legacy. Prince Rogers Nelson's story begins on June 7, 1958, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where he was born into a family deeply connected to music. From an early age, Prince displayed a remarkable talent for sound, rhythm, and performance, skills that would soon set him apart from his peers. His passion for music was not just a hobby, but a calling that drove him to pursue a path that would eventually change the landscape of popular culture. By his teenage years, his extraordinary abilities had already begun to attract attention, laying the foundation for what would become one of the most influential careers in modern music history. In 1976, at just 18 years old, Prince signed his first recording contract with Warner Brothers Records, a turning point that marked the beginning of his professional journey. This deal provided him with creative control that was unusual for such a young artist, reflecting both his undeniable talent and his determination to shape his music without compromise. His entry into the professional world of recording did not take long to produce results. By 1978, he released his debut album For You, showcasing not only his vocal abilities, but also his skills as a multi-instrumentalist, as he played nearly every instrument on the record himself. The following year, in 1979, Prince released his self-titled album, Prince, which included the hit single, I Wanna Be Your Lover. This track became his first major breakthrough on the charts, reaching audiences beyond the R&B and funk communities and crossing into mainstream popularity. The success established him as an emerging force in the industry and set the stage for his bold creative choices that would soon follow. By 1980, Prince released Dirty Mind, an album that gained critical acclaim for its provocative themes and daring fusion of funk, rock, and new wave influences. It was clear by then that Prince was unafraid to push boundaries, both musically and socially, earning him a reputation as a fearless innovator. His true commercial breakthrough arrived in 1982 with the release of the double album 1999. With hits like 1999 and Little Red Corvette, the album not only cemented Prince's place on the charts, but also showcased his ability to blend catchy hooks with deeper cultural statements. 1999 elevated Prince to international recognition, and it was soon followed by a project that would define his career. In 1984, Prince released Purple Rain, both as an album and as the soundtrack to the film in which he starred. The project was a massive success, with the album producing iconic tracks such as When Doves Cry and Let's Go Crazy. The film itself became a cultural phenomenon, and Prince won the Academy Award for Best Original Song Score. Purple Rain was more than just a record. It was a landmark moment that solidified Prince as one of the greatest performers of his generation. Building on that momentum, 1985 brought further recognition. Prince performed at the American Music Awards and took home 3 Grammy Awards, achievements that underscored his position as both a commercial powerhouse and a respected artist. Yet, even at the height of his fame, Prince never stopped experimenting. In 1986, he released Parade, the soundtrack to his second film, Under the Cherry Moon. While the album contained hits such as Kiss, the film was met with harsh criticism and is often remembered as one of his career's few missteps. However, setbacks never defined Prince for long. In 1987, he returned with Sign of the Times, an album that critics widely hailed as one of his masterpieces. Its socially conscious themes and innovative soundscapes further cemented his legacy as a visionary artist. By the late 1980s, Prince was not only dominating the music charts, but also contributing to the world of cinema in unexpected ways. In 1989, he recorded the soundtrack for Tim Burton's film Batman. The project produced the hit single Bat Dance, which topped the charts and once again proved Prince's adaptability across different forms of media. His ability to reinvent himself and his music kept him at the forefront of popular culture, regardless of the changing trends in the industry. In the early 1990s, Prince expanded his musical reach by forming the band The New Power Generation in 1991. This group allowed him to explore new musical directions and reinforced his reputation as an artist constantly seeking evolution. However, in 1993, Prince became embroiled in a contract dispute with Warner Brothers, leading him to change his name to an unpronounceable symbol, widely known as the love symbol. This move baffled the public, but was part of his attempt to gain independence from contractual limitations. During this period, Prince famously appeared with the word slave written on his face, signaling his frustrations with the constraints placed upon him by the music industry. Amid his professional experiments, Prince's personal life also drew attention. In 1996, he married his backup dancer Maite Garcia. The union was marked by both joy and heartbreak as the couple welcomed their son, boy Gregory, who tragically passed away shortly after birth due to Pfeiffer syndrome. This devastating loss profoundly impacted Prince's life, yet he continued to channel his energy into music and performance. Despite personal struggles, Prince's influence only grew. In 2004, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, an honor that recognized his contributions to shaping modern music. His performance during the ceremony particularly his electrifying guitar solo during the all-star tribute to George Harrison's "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," remains one of the most memorable moments in Hall of Fame history. 2 years later, in 2006, he took the stage at the 41st Super Bowl halftime show, delivering a performance that is still regarded as one of the greatest in the event's history. Playing Purple Rain in the pouring rain created an unforgettable spectacle that perfectly symbolized his larger-than-life artistry. As the 2010 S unfolded, Prince continued to perform, record and release music, often doing so independently to maintain his creative freedom. He embraced new methods of distribution, utilizing the internet and direct-to-fan platforms long before such practices became widespread. Even in his later years, Prince remained a symbol of independence, artistry and reinvention, never allowing himself to be confined by expectations or trends. Prince's controversies, struggles and death. Even the most celebrated artists face challenges and controversies, and Prince Rogers Nelson was no exception. Behind the music, the performances and the larger-than-life persona, Prince navigated a series of personal and professional struggles that shaped his life and career in profound ways. These issues reveal the complexities of an artist who was constantly evolving, both creatively and personally, while managing the pressures of fame and public scrutiny. From battles over creative control to the heartbreak of personal loss, Prince's story is as much about resilience as it is about genius. One of the most notable controversies in Prince's career was his prolonged contract dispute with Warner Brothers Records during the 1990s. Prince, who had always been fiercely protective of his artistic vision, clashed with the label over creative control and ownership of his master recordings. Frustrated by what he viewed as restrictions on his artistic freedom, he made the bold decision to change his name to an unpronounceable symbol, widely referred to as the love symbol. This act was not only a protest, but also a statement about autonomy in an industry often dominated by record labels. To further emphasize his point, Prince occasionally wrote the word "slave" on his face during performances, signaling his dissatisfaction with the contractual limitations imposed upon him. This period highlighted his determination to maintain creative independence, even if it meant confusing fans and the broader public. In addition to contractual disputes, Prince experienced setbacks in his ventures beyond music. His 1986 directorial debut, Under the Cherry Moon, was intended to showcase his multifaceted talent as a filmmaker and musician. However, the film was panned by critics and failed to achieve commercial success. While it contained some noteworthy musical elements and performances, the negative reception was a reminder that even highly talented artists can encounter missteps when branching into new areas. Despite the criticism, Prince continued to push creative boundaries, demonstrating that failure did not define his artistic identity. Prince's personal life was also the subject of intense scrutiny. His marriage to backup dancer Maita Garcia attracted media attention, and the couple faced an unimaginable tragedy with the loss of their infant son, Boy Gregory, shortly after birth due to Pfeiffer syndrome. This loss was deeply private, yet it inevitably became public knowledge, forcing Prince and Garcia to navigate grief under the constant gaze of the media. Their eventual divorce further fueled public interest, illustrating the challenges that come with maintaining a personal life while living in the spotlight. For Prince, these experiences were not just personal hardships, but also moments that shaped the emotional depth and authenticity of his music. Over the years, Prince's lifestyle and beliefs also evolved, sometimes creating tension with the public image he had cultivated earlier in his career. In the early 2000s, he became a practicing Jehovah's Witness, a change that influenced both his personal life and his professional choices. This shift brought a focus on spirituality and morality that occasionally conflicted with his previous reputation for sexually charged performances and provocative lyrics. Fans and commentators observed the contrast between the spiritual devotion of his later years and the flamboyant, sensual persona of his earlier career. This evolution demonstrated Prince's willingness to embrace personal growth, even when it challenged the expectations of his audience. Health challenges also played a significant role in the final chapter of Prince's life. While he maintained a high level of performance and productivity, reports in the months before his death suggested that he was struggling with dependency on painkillers, though he kept the extent of his health issues largely private. This secrecy reflected both his desire for personal control and the stigma surrounding substance dependency, particularly for public figures. The combination of pain, privacy, and the pressures of ongoing creative work created a complex situation that only became fully apparent after his passing. Tragically, on April 21, 2016, Prince died at his Paisley Park home in Minnesota at the age of 57. The cause of death was determined to be an accidental fentanyl overdose. His sudden passing shocked fans worldwide and reignited discussions about prescription drug use in the music industry. While his death was a devastating loss, it also highlighted the human vulnerabilities behind a persona often seen as nearly invincible. Even someone as talented, disciplined, and influential as Prince was not immune to the challenges of health struggles, grief, and public pressure. Kim Basinger breaks her silence. In the late 1980s, the worlds of film, music, and pop culture collided in an unexpected and electrifying way through the lives of Kim Basinger, Prince, and the blockbuster Batman. While Michael Keaton brought Gotham's Dark Knight to life on screen, Basinger played the iconic Vicky Vale, and Prince contributed his unique musical genius to the 1989 soundtrack. It was during this time that Basinger and Prince were romantically involved, a connection that would spark rumors, intrigue, and a collaboration that blurred the lines between art and personal intimacy. Their professional partnership was notable not only because of their star power, but also due to the whispered stories about what occurred behind the studio doors during recording sessions. Prince recorded an entire soundtrack album for Batman, separate from Danny Elfman's score, featuring hits like Badance, Partyman, and Scandalous. The album was a commercial success, ending the year at number 40 on the Billboard album chart, and it showcased Prince's ability to create music that perfectly complemented the film's dark, dramatic, and sometimes playful tone. Among these tracks, Scandalous stood out not only for its sensuality, but also for the fact that it included Basinger's voice. The song later evolved into a 19-minute maxi single titled The Scandalous Sex Suite, divided into 3 parts and featuring both Basinger and Prince in what many considered an audacious musical experiment blending eroticism and performance. Reviews at the time reflected the unusual nature of the collaboration. In 1989, The Washington Post described the Scandalous Sex Suite as Prince's daffy new collaboration with actress Kim Basinger, noting that Prince sang and spoke suggestively, while Basinger added moans, breaths, and spoken lines that seemed more daring than anything mainstream radio typically broadcast. The review even drew a comparison to 9.5 Weeks, the erotic drama in which Basinger had starred with Mickey Rourke in 1986, suggesting that her experiences in such roles may have informed the provocative intensity of the recording. Critics were fascinated not just by the song itself, but by the stories of how the intimate energy of the recording session seemed to spill into the music in ways listeners could hear. The behind-the-scenes stories only added to the intrigue. As reported by Showbiz Cheat Sheet, Prince's publicist Jill Willis shared details of the recording sessions, which included visits from Paisley Park Records Vice President Alan Leeds. According to the account, Leeds left the studio when Prince opened a jar of honey, a gesture that seemed innocuous but, in context, suggested the private and provocative nature of the session. The anecdote fueled speculation further when sound engineers reportedly found honey spilled across the mixing board the next day. Such details, true or exaggerated, became part of the lore surrounding the collaboration, reinforcing the idea that the chemistry between Prince and Basinger was palpable and potentially audible in the final recording. In 2015, decades after the collaboration, Basinger spoke candidly about her relationship with Prince and her experience working on the Batman soundtrack in an interview with the Daily Beast. When asked about dating him, she described the experience with a mix of admiration and humor. "Oh God, you sound like my teenage daughter. He's a brilliant talent. There's no doubt about that," she said. Her reflections highlighted not just the intensity of the relationship, but also her perspective on the freedom and spontaneity she experienced during that time. Basinger emphasized that she did not put many restrictions on herself, which allowed her to enjoy the connection and explore creative and personal boundaries alongside Prince. Basinger's comments also addressed the long-standing rumors about whether the scandalous sex suite truly captured moments of their intimate encounters. While she laughed, she did not deny the possibility, saying, "That song? Oh, I know. Oh dear. Ah yes, sex runs the world in a lot of ways." Her acknowledgement, framed with humor and a hint of philosophical reflection, gave a rare glimpse into how she viewed her own agency and power, and how she balanced public curiosity with her personal experiences. For fans and cultural commentators alike, Basinger's willingness to speak openly, even playfully, about such a private aspect of her life was a striking departure from the typical guarded responses of Hollywood stars. Beyond the scandalous sex suite, Prince and Basinger collaborated on additional projects, including work on her album Hollywood Affair, which ultimately was never released. Their professional connection, though brief, underscored the intensity and experimental nature of their partnership. While their romance did not last, it remained a noteworthy chapter in both of their lives, exemplifying how personal and professional worlds can intersect in ways that leave lasting cultural footprints. The relationship with Prince eventually concluded, and Basinger moved on to her next chapter, meeting her second husband Alec Baldwin while co-starring in The Marrying Man in 1990. Prior to her involvement with Prince, she had been married to makeup artist Ron Snyder, demonstrating that her personal life, much like her career, was full of transitions and complexities. Her time with Prince, however, remained a memorable period marked by artistic experimentation, celebrity intrigue, and the blurred lines between private intimacy and public performance.